Thank you for giving me opportunity. So I am grateful for this platform. Now I'm 64-year old. This body is. So now thinking back, I had spiritual experiences all my life, but I didn't know the language. I could not articulate it, but I knew, like capital KNOEW, capital knew that I something is talking to me. I have no idea. So as if I remember correctly, it was probably like age 6, 7 around. I had the feeling that I will not stay in India, which is very big. And I still remember the time and where I was sitting. That's the beauty of it. So, and again, all the experience I'm talking today, I had no language, because if you cannot talk to people about this, because some of them are not open at all, and I knew it, but I couldn't share with anybody till I lost my mom. And then all of a sudden, this whole story started. And later on, I found out about IANDS, is International Study of Near Death Study. And this has been a research field from this UVA University for last 50 years. So that gave me language that, okay, whatever I had, this is a research field and this is real. And my mother told me this when I was probably 15, 16, that when my time is to go to home, which is heaven or whatever we name it, please let me go peacefully. And again, at that age, we don't listen to our parent much. We listen from here and go out from there. So she told me kind of the whole thing what IN is based on, about the near death study, that this body is here but the soul live forever. So till I had the experience of losing her, and my mom and dad both depart from each other like within 7 months. So my mom passed away 2002 August, and then after 7 months my dad passed away 2003. So it was too much grief on me, and I was dealing with. And it is started right away after death communication. Again, I had no language till I found IANDS, which is 2013. So that's a long process. And 2008, I read a book by Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. That gave me a lot of closure to read about this thing, about the pain body and how this soul thing, all the stuff. So again, whenever I'm explaining anything, I had it all my life, but I had no language to articulate it. And I remember now, actually, when this happened like 22 years ago, that my dad told me one time that when I was little, probably 3 or 4, before 5-year-old, I did get sick very bad, and then I end up in the hospital. But my mother never talked about it. So now I'm thinking, that I may had near-death experience, which I do not remember. But with this guidance or intuition, I get the information. So maybe something happened, and my brother, sister, they are not into that. So if I ask them, they said, no, we don't know anything. Both are older from me. So that's what my guess is. I'm not sure, but many times I had, you can say, deja vu or near death like experience when you are in too much pain and grief. I personally think when I surrender, or anybody surrender to the universe, especially when we are struggling, because everything feels like slipping from your hand and you cannot control anything. That's what the things come up. And if I'm open to it, and in my case, I'm very intuitive, because I think my father was very intuitive, because he told me even in front of my mother that when my mother will pass away, and she did that day. I was so shocked. It was a incident. I was sitting witnessing this incident, and he asked me which date is that, which day is that, and then I talked to him, and then he said, okay, by Sunday she will be gone. And my mother heard it. She would not able to speak, but she heard it. So she whispered something like, kind of, joking to my dad that, are you being smart again? They were married for 58 years. So it was a long, bonding. So, and exactly on Sunday, I, was giving glass of milk to my dad, and I peeked next to him, and he said, don't worry, she's gone. And she did leave her body on Sunday. So those little things, slowly, it was like so, I cannot even have word to explain that how my father knew. So, and I have shared death experiences. All this thing I'm talking about is just because of IANS. So I give credit to the whole thing to IANS to give me the, information. And that's why, a couple of times I have been there and I presented a workshop and meditations.
Amazing. So you mentioned that your mom told you you shouldn't linger when she needs to go home or when she needs to leave this earth. And I can't remember your words exactly, but her thoughts were, don't try to keep me here, right?
Right.
So why do you think she was telling you this? And how do you think of this relationship between being here and being on the other side, and that sometimes we're thinking like, no, we don't want to lose somebody? What does this do?
I think looking back, I'm the youngest of three sibling, and being so far away from India to US, and when I was getting married, I got married very early, age 20. So I think she was deep down, you love your child, but I think the youngest one you love a little more. I can say that. So she was kind of thinking that what happened, and she was a warrior. So she was thinking ahead of time that when her time to die, I don't know if she will able to come, because she was thinking way ahead of time. So, and even though I was not even married, but and other thing is from me, not from her, that I had some, not grudge, but how we complain that you don't love me, because I had a sister older and the older brother, and I was always tell her that you love them, but you don't love me. And she said that is not true. But it has a big long story, behind it, why it happened. And because reading Eckhart Tolle New Earth, it gave me very clarity why I felt that. Because when I was born, my father told me that she was going through depression. It may be postpartum, or we don't know. I don't know. But when I confronted her in 1997, I told her how I feel about, because I have no memory of her when I was a child. So I never paid attention till I got older, probably like 30, 32 year age. Then I said, I cannot remember any childhood memory with my mother. And that was kind of a turning point for me to not let her go. I think it was still in me. So when she told me when I was 15 or 16 that when the soul wants to leave, let the soul leave peacefully, was just pulling like if I have here somebody's pulling my right hand and one person will pulling my left hand, I would not able to go. So like one is a physical dimension, one is non-physical. So she explained it to me that when I leave, do prayer, don't keep me here, let me go peacefully. Don't cry and hold on to me, because if you are crying too much, the soul does not want to leave, because it's still is getting attached with this physical world. So again, that time I never paid attention. But when she was dying, 2 days before actually, when I was crying so hard, when I reached India and I went to visit her in the hospital, next day she came back home and she would not able to talk because she was so weak. They were putting a fluid through her nose. So I was crying like a child, literally crying like a weeping. And my brother was getting mad that I'm 42-year-old. How can, you cannot just, take care. Why are you crying like that? So when my father saw that, my father told one of the family member to remove me from that room. And he said, take Purnima out. My name is Poonam, nickname. So take Poonam out from this room. Because of her, she cannot die. And when I heard that, I was so shocked. I could not even believe what I heard from my father's mouth. And I was just shocked. I was looking what he just said. And it's really amazing. It's beyond miracle, I think. I stopped crying immediately. It's like a switch, you on and off. And suddenly I remember everything she told me when I was 15, 16-year-old. So I got the prayer book in front of me. I sat next to her. I was non-stop praying all the things we do in our faith. So, and I will ask her gently that, can you hear me? If you can hear me, give me some kind of sign so I know you can hear me. So very, very gently, very slowly, she will put her hand like this. So I knew that she could hear me. And then other thing I did, I put my right hand on her heart and left on her head. And I told her that don't worry about me. I know you love me. You loved me all your life. And I am letting you go. So go peacefully and I will be fine. And literally, I said it, I prayed that day and the good night told her. Next day she was gone. So I'm getting all the goosebumps right now I'm talking, and now I'm laughing, but it took me 8 years to process the pain. And when she was gone, when they were removing her body, the doctor come and check them out. So something, I was right there in front of her, so I felt something came to me. I don't know what it is. I had no language for that, but I felt something. Later on, I think, that she was watching over me. And she stayed with me literally. I felt her presence for 3 months in my home. When I was coming back from India, after her death, I stayed there a few weeks with my dad. But I was so sick because I would not able to sleep. So on the plane, I was very sick, and I felt on my right shoulder that her hand, I can feel something, because I was praying, because the flight was so long. Switzerland, I had like 10-hour waiting period. So when I came here, I felt her presence literally 3 months. I don't see anything, I don't hear anything, but I feel presence. So that I can say, but that gave me so much peace that I found her when she passed away. Because my brother, I said, he was her favorite. He was not home when she left. He just, went outside to drop his daughter off. And that time, I heard from the IAN's research that sometimes people wait till somebody leave and then they want to go. But since I found her, I think she said, okay, I gave you the last one, so you should be happy now. And that made me so peaceful that, okay, I'm the one who saw her first gone. And it's a blessing of a mother. The power of love of the mother can, definitely say that even the physical body is gone, the soul or energy is always guiding you. It's a beautiful experience. I think my soul had a contract to learn forgiveness for my mother.
I can imagine many of us relate to that. So have you had any signs or communication with her after she passed away?
Yes, so many, so many. That's why, I have journaled for last 26 years. It's one time I remember I was in so much pain because I had some knee issue, and when I came back from India, the inflammation got so bad, I could not able to move. Doctor told me to just keep my leg straight for 3 weeks. And I knew that she had the same arthritis problem in her knees. So I was in a lot of pain, taking painkillers for a month and trying to find something on my laptop. And I know for sure, I don't have any proof, but I know for sure, and because I have a shawl. I have 2 shawls. One I keep upstairs next to my bed. One I keep downstairs with where I do meditation. And I was in so much pain. I took her shawl and I hold it in my hand and I literally talked to her just like I'm talking to you. I told her that how did you live with this pain? Either fix me or take me away, because I could not bear any more. It's in that much pain. That's how that day, or maybe like few days later, I found about IANS. And that's a Bill Guggenheim is a video, Hello from Heaven. It popped out somehow on the YouTube, and on the YouTube I watched the interview, and I watched the interview. He talked about 12 chapters in that book, and I had 10 of those chapter experience personally. So I wrote him email, and within a week, I think he called me. So being an author, he called, I was very shocked, and he said, Purnima, this experience is just for you. You don't have to explain it to anybody. Then he told me about the conference, and then he told me that this has been doing, UVA has been doing research for over 50 years. So I've had after death communication with her continuously after that, more than when she was even alive. So I personally think when the physical body has so much density, when this is gone, the love energy can come much quicker. But the key is to not to be afraid. If I'm afraid, because their frequency is so high, our frequency is low on this physical plane. So when we raise our frequencies to match that frequency, and I'm a meditator all my life because I grew up in that environment. My parents, my grandparents, they always did that few hours in the morning, a couple, whenever they get chance. So I have a habit at least 2 hours in the morning, and in the daytime whenever I feel like walking, doing whatever, so I do the chanting or some kind of chanting or a breathing exercise. And in the night time I need to have my own time, at least every morning and every night, at least hour and a half. So that's why I think doing the meditation practice, I firmly believe, is easy to hear it because your mind is quiet.
And would that be your biggest advice for somebody that has maybe lost somebody they love and they want to find a way to connect with them? Is it then to meditate?
Yes, I would suggest that. But if they've never done meditation, I would suggest to do a conscious breathing exercise, and that's what I teach for last 15 years in the hospital and in our county. And what it is actually is literally when you are breathing, inhale and exhale, you are present. You are feeling the air moving through your nose, moving out through your nose. So if you just sit on it for like 5 count to 5 breath, start little. It takes like a minute, and if you do that every morning, every night, just for not for any expectation, but the same time, grieving period is different for everybody. So I highly suggest to feel your pain. People say shake it off, move on. It does not work. So but make sure you do it consciously. Don't lose your life over it, like being depressed, taking all kind of medicine, because sometimes you get addicted with those medicine. Just remember, they are with you. They are always with you. Just have to ask, just like when we talk to each other on the physical world, they are there, but ask them. Don't be afraid. If you get some kind of communication, don't get scared, because they don't want to scare you. So if I'm open to it, ask, and don't wait for the answer. The answer come whenever it needs to, when you're ready. And most of the time when we are grieving, you are not ready. But in my case, because whatever reason, I don't know, I had this all my life with other family members, which I never knew this was a subject. So then when they called ADC and they told after death communication, because I had it for my grandparents, I had it for my aunt, I had my family member. So I had it all my life. So suggestion is to do meditation and have the grieving period. Literally, if you think you are losing too much into depression, I suggest make a time, literally make a time, 5 minutes, that I'm going to cry completely, tears off, weep for 5 minutes, and then do like 5 breath exercise slowly. And ask divine or ask God. For God, I define as goal of divine. So ask for help. That's the easiest thing we can do, because if I ask for help, help is always given to us.
I couldn't agree more. And because you mentioned you've had this communication with other family members, what kind of communication should I think of? Is it like a conversation like we're having now, or is it more asking for guidance and receiving signs? What should I think of when I think of after-death communication?
It does not, I cannot give answer like as a language, but it comes as a guidance. In like sometimes I can feel their presence, and it's not that I'm asking for it, I'm getting it. It's not at all. It comes on its own. So I can if I'm doing something important or something, it just all of a sudden I get a sign, some kind of sign or something related to that sign for that person, or they liked something, or they asked me something, because now I can relate and think back. I played, I think, all of them, like at least 5 members I know in my family, in the time of their transition. It was my privilege to do that, I think. That time I didn't know that, because same thing with my mother. I was there during the transition. Couple of other family member during their transition, I was there. Some of them I was not even there physically. Like for my dad, I was not there physically. I was here and he was in India. But when I calculated the time when he passed, I was doing meditation, and I never do meditation at that time. So when I calculated backward, then I knew. So there is a guiding force who is guiding us if I able to listen and pay attention, and I never question it. When it comes to me, I don't question it.
And because you mentioned your dad passing, I know that you've had an experience when he passed as well. So could you share more about how that went for you?
That was a total different story. I was very close to my dad. Very, very. I was like the daddy's girl. So when I went back after my mom's death, I took my older son because he was going to medical school, and my mom's dream was to have a doctor in the family. So I was telling my dad that do not go. Mom is already gone. So you hold on to it. I will come back again, bringing my son there. So when I went there, we talked to him, and I told him that I know I'm going back to US because my younger son was in school, high school. So I had to come back. So I told him that I know I'm not going to see you anymore. So, and I had everything was very clear. I had nothing against, like, with my mom, I had some issue. With my dad, I had nothing. He never even made us mad or anything. So I was very happy with him all the time. So when I was here, after like 3 months, he suffered so much because he never got up from the bed. The day my mom died, he did not get up from the bed. Like a 3 teaspoon, he will eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and he will fold his hand to my brother and sister-in-law. I said, please let me go. And I was, I think, holding on to him. So like after 4 months, I went to India again, went and see him. I saw him in February, middle of February, and March 28. Today's March. So 28th is his anniversary, 23 years. And that day, actually, what happened a week before, I was still grieving too much. I was working full time. So before he passed, I think 10 days prior to that, at my work, I was weeping and crying so much. My co-workers and my boss, she told me that please take off this week because you cannot function. You cannot able to work. So I was staying home, and I was praying every day to divine to please take him, because he is not going, whatever reason. And I was saying, I told him to go. I don't know why he's not going. So is fine with me. But I think my sister-in-law was keeping him. So there is a reason sometimes soul wants to go, but somebody is again holding that person. So the day he left, I was so sick, physically, emotionally, mentally, so sick. I was crying so much. I was doing meditation non-stop and asking God to take him. Few hours later, one of my close friend, she called and she said, I know you are not doing good. So my whole family, she invited the whole family. She said, come to our home. So you will, get little diversion, divert your mind. So we went there. When we came back home from the answering machine, the message was on the answering machine when my father left. So when I calculated the time backward, it was the time when he was leaving. So this gives me so much different experience that I was with him even though I was so far away from him. And he was my rock. We just were best buddy. We can say that. We can always talk forever and ever. So that's a total different experience. But I never felt his presence. And that bothered me. I said, my mom presence was like so much with me, even though we were not, we love each other, but it was a different kind of communication. And I was very much kind of little mad that why I cannot feel my dad's presence. So it's a good question you asked about the after death communication. I was asking for it, I wasn't getting it. I was asking for it, I was not getting it. So one day, I think after 3 months, I was so tired. I said, Dad, I know you loved me. I know I loved you. Why can't I feel your presence? And this, I don't know, maybe I was in that, not the correct frame of mind. But one day again, it was during meditation, and I was awake and kind of, I cannot say sleepy, but like a lucid dream, you can say that. I felt his presence on my right shoulder. I'm laying on the bed and I can feel it completely, and very gentle hand on my head, like you can feel the hair. And I just knew it. Did not turn back, but I just knew it was him. So since then, I have his handkerchief and one of his hand towel next to my bed stand. So I was happy. I said, finally you came. So I think, I don't know how it works, but when we are ready, they show up.
So my question is, what is intuition? But the longer version of it is, how do we distinguish if something is intuitive, or is it just because we want to do something or we're afraid to do something?
It's very good question. Very excellent question. Intuition is, it comes like a whoosh, literally like a microsecond, nanosecond. It gives you it has no agenda behind it. It has no emotion behind it. So, and when we ask question, lot of times we want to have the answer what I want. But if you do meditation practice over and over, you get better. It's nothing, that one person is better than other and superior or inferior. It's all about practice. Whenever we do practice about cleaning, we get better. Cooking, we practice, we get better. So we do more meditation, you get better at it. The reason is more better at it because your mind, the chatter mind, is get quiet. And when it get quiet, you can listen. Because we call it Atma or soul is always the intelligence system, which is this body. This is running this body with that intelligence. We call it immune system, right? So it's running all the time. But if I'm willing to hear it, so the intuition comes very, very fast. It just gives you guidance. So it's up to me if I listen, if I follow it, or if I don't follow it. It's a choice. So what happened most of the time, lot of intellectual people which has a linear mind, they have to have analyze it, they have to have proof, why this happened, have all the logic behind it. They have hard time believing it because it does not make sense. The intuition, the gut feeling, it does not make sense. It just give you the information. So information is, that's all it gives. It gives you the information. If you want to listen, you can follow it. If you don't, you can ignore it. And most of the time, if you ignore it, you will know, because as a human with our DNA, the first feeling we get it in our belly. So anytime if I am doing something, if I need to ask, I suggest don't ask anybody else. Ask yourself, I am doing this, how does that make me feel? And your body knows right away. Your stomach knows right away because it has more neurotransmitter than brain. Only reason that brain has an analytical power to analyze it, stomach does not have. Your belly does not have the analyzing powers. You just know the feeling. So the intuition and our ego is two different things. Ego has a agenda behind it. It has a feeling behind it that I'm better than this person, or I can do this because of A, B, C, whatever it is. The intuition is just the information. So if I listen and follow it, that's the key. If I follow it, I'm much better off because it's just a database. I'm receiving the information. All the information is there in the universe. It's like a giant computer. So when I'm quietening this thing, it's getting the information just like a radio or antenna. So that's the difference. I can give you very perfect example on that one. I have many, but this one is very, very easy, very quick. What happened one time, I was doing a laundry. So I had a full basket of laundry in my bedroom, and I took a suitcase out, but forget to put it back. So it was out on the edge of that door. And then my whole bedroom set, the big furniture on the dresser, everything is there. So as soon as I took the basket out, my leg catch that door with that suitcase. And I just fell, like jumped all across from one end to another end in my room, which is close to like 10 foot. So when I'm holding the basket, I hit my foot, and I know I'm going to get hurt big time because I had a basket. It was so clear. The voice says, do not resist. It was so clear, and I did not resist at all. So I flew like a free fall, one end to another end, and I'm on the floor, and I'm thinking, after 2 hours, I have a class to teach. And I said, should I get up or should I not get up? How much did I get hurt? So I'm laying down, I'm praying. I said, please make me better, because after 2 hours, I have to give a class, teaching a class. So that was a perfect example I use in my class too. Because as soon as I hit that spot, the clairvoyance, or whatever we can say it was very clear. It says, do not resist. If I would have resisted, I would have hit my head in either in the dresser or some corner of the furniture and get hurt more. So that is a perfect, example I always keep in my mind, that how this guidance is always, always, always with us.
I wanted to ask, have you noticed any benefits, and what do you think are the benefits of these practices? And afterwards, what kind of meditation or breath work would you recommend for maybe somebody who hasn't done it very much, maybe a few times sporadically, but would think maybe this is something to start?
Okay, I will start with the benefit. It being from in India, I've been here in this country for over 45 years, but being in India is part of the culture. It's everybody, if you do it or not, it's up to you, but it's ingrained in our brain, meditation. So what meditation does is, when we get quiet, first of all, we can listen to what's going on in our body, because our body is always speaking to us, always. So before the diseases start, anytime we have disease, is dis-ease. Your body is not at ease. So any time we have any emotion, it goes to your body. Every single thought I have has a chemical reaction. So that's why we feel happy and sad and anger and grievance, whatever emotion we feel, right? So a lot of times what happens, we are not paying attention to the emotion. And anger is a very good sign, in the sense that whenever we get angry, your body either, you feel neck pain, shoulder pain, your stomach feels bad, your chest feels tight. So body tells right away that I do not feel good. So getting angry, if you're getting anger issue or some other stress issue, pay attention to your emotion. Bring your attention in that area particular, and breathe. And the practice of breathing is conscious breathing. We can do many type of meditation, but for the beginners is the easiest way to count your breath for 5 times. I start with 5 or 10. And what I mean is that feel your inhale all the way to your belly, and then exhale, and stay present with your breath, which is vertical. This is horizontal, this is past, and this is future. So when awareness is in the present moment, which is now, which is inhale and exhale, mind cannot be present at the same time and think about past and future. So as soon as I'm drifting with my thought, either past, thinking about past, or thinking about future, nothing wrong in that, that's fine. But be aware that I'm drifting with my thoughts. So I'm going to bring my attention to now, which is inhale and exhale. And that is a great practice. If you have never done meditation, I have so many testimony from people. It helps with their anxiety, stress. Sometimes, they are doing some kind of MRI test, or blood pressure goes lower. One lady was saying that she was in the hospital with so much pain, and it helped her. So many benefit. I have attended the conference in Harvard Medical School for their healing and meditation, and every single doctors, every field, like GI doctor, cardiologist, internal medicine, any brain surgeon, everybody is recommending meditation. It has so many benefits, and it is free, because we are always breathing, but we never pay attention. So who I am is the consciousness. And I have been studying consciousness for over 25 years or 30 years. I said what it is, because I always was very curious. Then when my aunt passed away, I was probably like 18 or 19, and she asked me to pray for her when she was dying. And again, that time I had no idea. But one minute she was there, another minute she's gone. And I keep thinking that where did she go? So it just makes us curious. And who we are is awareness. We are disguised in the body for the time being. So when you bring your awareness, slowly with the practice of meditation, you can say meditation, some people can say mindfulness, whatever, but please make time, because every one of us need to be enriching our life. So that's the benefit, and that's how you can start conscious breathing. I do also body scanning in the exercise we do, especially when I do the in meditation, bringing awareness. Especially I ask them when they do the class, that I ask them to bring some kind of painful experience during that time and just observe it, just like a movie or watching a movie. Don't listen to the chatter. You're just observing that same scene. It felt you bad, and feel the sensation where you're feeling it in your body. Because when you feel the uncomfortableness, when you feel the pain, it dissipates slowly, because you are shining a light on that. And that is very helpful because of meditation. That's what it says. I think Wayne Dyer said that you're doing nothing and achieving everything. Because mind don't like to be quiet. Mind said, okay, why you're doing this? Is this boring? You're waste of time. And the chatter will go on and on. But your job is, my job as an awareness is bring my attention to my breath. At least do it for 5 minutes every morning. And gratitude. These two things are the most important thing, I think, personally in my life. The more grateful I am, the more grateful thing happen to you. My email is psranchi@gmail.com. But make sure on the subject, write, your podcast. So I know, because a lot of junk mail, it comes and I just move it to the junk. So make sure you write, your name, Sabrina/podcast, and I'd be happy to answer anything. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wonderful job you guys are doing. Wonderful job.